everyone. How are you? We are here to read about Eric Grady Smith. Angel on the bottom, never a good starting sign. I do feel like he's passed. I just do. I look at his pictures. I'm getting better and better at photo reading. It's something I've been practicing. They actually have psychic photo reading classes for all of you that thinks we're nuts, even more nuts. And yeah, I'm getting pretty good at being able to look at photos and tell if someone's dead or alive. Literally, we have practices where we try to figure out if people are dead or alive. Usually it's your first instinctual, whatever that is, gut feeling, and it'll tell you. And I'm telling you, my accuracy's gotten a lot better about it. So with that said, when I looked at his photo, I got dead right away. I don't know if any of you would be interested in practicing that, but I was thinking about putting together a PowerPoint kind of, well, it'd be a video for you, of like different people, and you get to guess. Are they passed or not? I know, creepy, right? It's in the eyes. I'm telling you, it's in the eyes. But if you are interested, put that in the comments because I will do that for you that are trying to like learn more of this stuff. I know some of you out there are. So there's really good classes. Take Pam Coronato's classes. She's good. She does psychic investigator classes, and you literally are working on missing person cases. And I've taken a lot of her classes. Love working with her. She's really, really good. She actually had her own TV show. Yes, I'm deep into this stuff. I love it. All right. Anyway, we're going to get back to Eric Grady Smith, and I will stop talking about missing people and how you should study it too. So Eric Grady Smith, he was 41 years old, great at his job. He was a coal miner. People loved him. He sounded like he was very respected as far as I can see. This happened back in 2013, and it is a reader request, so thank you. Whoever made that request that I can read on. And Janelle, I'm doing 2 readings in 1 weekend. Can you believe it? Here I am. So with that said, he went out hunting. The guy just like walked out, said, I'm going hunting on the mountain like he always does, not anything different than what he normally does. And he never came back. Vanished. When another guy, I'm on a roll with men that vanished into thin air and were never seen again. So, like I said, Eric, pretty sure he has passed. Nobody knows why. No one knows why. Why in the world would he just disappear? I mean, they have done extensive searches of this mountain. It sounds like they have searched, from what I read, every inch of that mountain. And this has been since 2013. They've had 21 going on 21, 20, not 20, 10, let's back up. Whoop. 10 and, a couple months, years to search for him, and nobody's seen him. So, yeah. What happened? Interestingly, this had been treated as a missing person case all this time. Now the police are saying, no, maybe this is a homicide. And they're starting to look into it as a homicide, which when I read that, I was like, yeah, we need to read this case and see what's going on. All right, he took his gun with him. Gun was never found either. He left his cigarettes and his cell phone at home, which everybody says he never does that. If you're a smoker, you want your cigarettes with you. If you are out wandering around, maybe the cell phone didn't work great on the mountain. I don't know. But usually people want their phone with them just for that, that little bit of comfort in knowing that if something happens, I've got my phone. He didn't bring his wallet with him either, which people said was unusual too. So, odd behavior. Okay, we're going to do our usual foul play, suicide, accident, left on his own, wasn't a natural passing. Pretty much those are the 5 things that can happen to somebody if they disappear. So let me just hone in on Mr. Eric Grady Smith's energy here. And I just ask for guidance in this and that the truth come through. All right, so we're going to ask about foul play with Eric Grady Smith. Where in the world did he go? Foul play. Was this a foul play situation? Foul play. It almost leans me towards suicide at first. I'm not seeing foul play. I think he was doing just fine up on that mountain. He was trying to capture something. You see, this person's captured that bird that it has under their control. I think Eric was hunting. I do feel like he went out there. He was hoping to get lucky. He was hunting. I don't see foul play. I don't know. I know they're opening this into an investigation, but I'm specifically not seeing that. That doesn't scream foul play to me. Now we're going to read a little bit more just in case it was somebody who wanted to keep him under the control and da 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 da. Okay, that is a possibility with that card. But, well, let's just ask for clarification. Tell me a little bit of clarification now on this whole could this be foul play? Not a standard card I get for foul play right off bat. But there is an element of control in that card. So let's explore. Tell me more about this whole Nine of Pentacles being foul play. This is just like a decision that was made. I feel like he made the decision. Sometimes you make a decision that's not the greatest for you. You think it might be a good decision, but it's not. I feel like he made a decision. I also feel like this whole underneath thing, it could something have happened. He made a decision, maybe went into a place, on a place, around a place where he could have fallen in somewhere and gotten covered with stuff. I don't know. I think I'm guessing they brought dogs out on the mountain. I'm guessing dogs would have smelled him if he was there. But the whole him being, there's an element of being covered up in this, meaning stuff on top of him. This, I don't know how long all of you have been reading with me, but if you go back to my Quentin Simon reading, we got this card for him. And that's because I'm sorry, this is going to be a sad story for you who don't know it. He was just a little boy. He was murdered and thrown away like trash and literally was in the trash dump. And they searched. God bless those police and everybody else who went out there, that crew that searched day after day after day, opening bags of trash, sorting through it. All this trash was on top of him. And here, this was the card that represented him. He was buried under all this stuff. And so I'm getting this whole sense of this guy's buried under stuff. And I'm also getting the Seven of Cups, which tells me I really feel like he made a bad decision that led to that. I feel like something happened. He made a bad decision. I think he was out hunting and having a good time. Something happened that looked like it was going to be good and wasn't good. And it ended up in maybe stuff coming down on him, falling on him, and him getting something under. Let's continue. How about a suicide? Because that could be the bad decision, right? Suicide. Tell me about this being a suicide. Although I see him out there hunting, being in control, wanting to catch an animal. So tell me about this being a suicide. I don't know that it was a suicide. I mean, I feel like here's this Queen of Pentacles. She's sitting there looking at a tangible object, like he may have been looking at an animal or what have you. Doesn't really feel like a suicide. It's not a card I get for suicide. Tell me about this being an accident. I could see this sort of going along the lines of an accident, to be honest with you. Tell me about this being an accident. Sometimes other people can accidentally do something to you too, or there are more hunters out there. Now we have interesting cards when I ask about an accident. We've got this whole temptation card, somebody being chained to something, and a loss. So the devil being here, interesting development. The devil being here. Devil's an addiction card. It's a card of temptation. It's a card of being bound and not being able to get out of something. We did see that bad decision, making a bad decision earlier. Did he have some addiction issues? Did he have some sort of temptation issues? Was there something more going on in his life that we just don't know about? There's a big loss here because of this. There's a big loss because of something that happened that he was like, that there is I'm definitely getting an accident. This was an accident. I don't feel it was on purpose. It had something to do with some sort of, would he go and drink up there? Would he do that? I don't know the first thing about this guy. Could he have been a little not in his 100%, all faculties working 100% at the moment? And that led to him making a bad decision, which led to an accident. There's something more there. There's something more there. let me just ask a little bit more about what am I seeing here? We are going to ask what happened. So what are we seeing here with this whole accident thing? What's going on with this? What is going on with this accident? Eric Grady in an accident. Well, that's interesting. That's the 10 of Cups. Again, I will ask, was he drinking up there? Did he drink? His family would know that. Other people would know that. Was he drinking? It's a lot of cups. That's a kind of, you've had your fill. He was on the top of a mountain. I know they've searched the mountain. I know they have. There is something more there. I'm going to read more. We're going to finish this and we're going to go into more of what happened because, yeah, something more. Let's do a whole left on his own. Left on his own. We did get temptation going on, but this guy's passed. I feel it. He's not alive. Temptation. Or, I'm sorry. Left on his own. Wow. Look at that. Left on his own. Did he leave on his own? Well, that is a magician, and the magician hides things. I don't think he left on his own, though. Did someone else hide him or feel the need to? Or what was he hiding? Was he hiding that he had an addiction to something? Because now we have a cup right in front of him. Could he have had an addiction to something? That's more the direction I'm going, unfortunately. That's what it looks like. I don't think he left on his own. Uh, we'll ask a little clarification though. Magician's a good card for actually leaving on your own. Tell me about. I don't feel it in my heart though. Tell me about more on him leaving on his own. Because why? Why am I saying that? Magician disappears. He makes things disappear, right? Card for leaving on your own. You get the magician. Did you make yourself disappear? Tell me more about. I see where we're going with this. Tell me more about leaving on your own. Well, this is the Hermit, and the Hermit is like being guided away. Getting some interesting cards for this too. Accident and leaving on your own are very strong here. So, being guided away, let's explore that just a little bit more. Tell us more about this whole leaving on his own. Did he go with somebody somewhere? I don't know. Do you meet people up on the mountain? That just sounds weird. We saw he was going hunting. Tell me more about him leaving on his own. Ah, look at this. My lord. The guy really does look like he left on his own. We've got the Magician card, the Hermit card, and now this. All right. I'll hold them up so you guys can see. Magician. What does a magician do? Makes things disappear. He's got all the tools in the box. He's ready to go. He's ready to make things disappear for leaving on his own. And what do we have here? The Hermit guiding off into the night. I mean, the Hermit is going off on his own. And when I ask for some clarification, I have the guy literally walking away from everything and going off on his own. All I can say is what I see in the cards. It looks like Eric Grady Smith purposefully went off way further than he intended to originally, leaving on his own. We've got an element of temptation in there. We've got an element of perhaps wanting to be with somebody else, although, and making decisions. But I know he's passed. Here's my thought. Here's my thought, my uneducated, I don't know a thing about this case other than what I read in like 5 minutes. Did he go way beyond where he said he was going to go? Way beyond where he said maybe off that mountain somewhere else. And there was an accident. There's something weird about him going much further than he originally said. Let me just ask about him still being on that mountain. Is Eric Grady Smith still on the mountain he originally was going to hunt on? Because I see him leaving that. Tell me about Eric Grady Smith moving way further than the mountain he originally. All right, so are there two mountains around there? There's probably more than two. I feel like he might have gone to the lower land. The lower land. Meaning, I think there's like a bigger mountain, and then you see why I'm saying that. There's a bigger thing over here, and there's a smaller thing over here, and this guy's really focused on that smaller thing. But what's on that smaller thing? Rougher waters, things not so great. The ship is having a hard time back there sailing, right? I think he went somewhere beyond where they think he went, and I think he fell into some trouble. Fell is an interesting word to use. I think he fell into some trouble. With that, there may have been some sort of, was he out there drinking that day? Did he drink when he went out hunting? Not the first person to do that. Some people do. And did that cause him to fall, end up detrimental, sort of, whatever this is that we're seeing? We see him making a bad decision and then him being sort of covered in stuff. That's the best sense of it that I can make. Let me just ask, did he fall? Did Eric fall? Because there's a weird element of going way further, a temptation involved, and being covered up by stuff. Did Eric fall? Did Eric fall? Oh, well, look at this. We've got a fighting card entering. A fight that led to somebody taking someone else out of the world. This is getting to be a weird reading. This is getting to be a weird reading. Sure is. Sure is, because this is not the kind of person that I think most people would say he was. Let's ask if somebody else was involved. I've got a fight here. Did Eric go hunting on someone else's land? Was there a fight about that? Tell me about someone else being involved here. Just seems odd. Why wouldn't he stay on his own place? But I'm guessing that was his area. I guess I don't know that. Tell me, was there someone else involved in Eric's passing? Because now they're changing it. The police have changed it to a potential homicide, which means probably somebody else was involved. Well, we've got my Queen of Swords saying that is the truth. Who was in power around there? I feel again I'm going back to that two of pentacles. So who owned the other mountain? Who had stuff that, and this could be a person in power. Yeah, it's a person in power. The pentacles are there. So, I don't want to say workplace. I don't think it had something to do with his workplace from what I can see. Usually I would know that by now. Let's just ask if this is a homicide. We're getting weird cards now. I really thought he just fell, hurt himself, yada, yada, yada. Now I'm starting to see something else. Looks like somebody else was involved. So, wow, was this a homicide? Tell me, was he murdered? Was Eric Grady Smith murdered? Was Eric Grady Smith murdered? We've got that whole being covered up thing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is a 7 of Swords. This is a card of somebody doing something really sneaky. He's got an awful lot of weapons. I hate to say it, but I think this really was a homicide. I do. Yeah. There was an argument, a fight. That's this card. There's some sort of argument. This guy is in a powerful position, or a position of power in this situation. And he did something bad and kind of, I think, covered it up or hid it, or, that's what it looks like. Hmm. This is getting messy. This is getting real messy quick. I was not expecting all this. Let me ask who was involved. So who is this other person? Who is this person? It does look like a homicide. I I'm surprised. Um, who is this other person that's involved? Tell us about this other person. Oh, look at this. This guy likes to fight. He was protecting what he thought was his. These are defensive. This is mine. Don't you come here. Again, who owned the other mountain? Who owned land around there? Was he hunting on somebody else's land? They got pissed. There were words. He'd maybe been drinking. That affected his ability to just sit and have a conversation in a civil manner. Maybe he got angry and it turned into I'm pulling my gun on you, you're pulling your gun on me, I'm defending myself. Both these people are defending themselves. Look at him. I mean, we've got the 8 of wands here and the 9 of wands. I'm defending myself, you're coming at me, and I'm protecting myself. So Eric was defending himself, Eric was protecting himself. Somebody came at him. I see that. I see that. Wow. This is way beyond what I thought this was going to be. Way, 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 way beyond. Was not expecting this. He was murdered, and someone came at him. Um, it very well may have been someone who owned land around there, but he had to protect himself, whatever was happening. Are there people just wandering around on these mountains? I know in some places, literally homeless people will just camp out in different areas and make it like that's my house, or that's where I live. Did Eric walk up on somebody? Did someone say this was mine? It seems like there was some sort of territorial dispute kind of thing going on here. Um, hmm. Let me ask if this is someone he knew. Is this someone that Eric knew that murdered him? Is the person that murdered him someone he knew? Really, I feel like this is a homicide. I hate saying he was murdered, but that's what I'm saying. Was this someone Eric knew? Someone who murdered him? Oh, that's interesting. Empress. This is somebody who's very comfortable. Somebody who's very comfortable on their land. It does almost look like a squatter out there, right? She's sitting out in the forest. Are there people out there? I don't know the first thing about where he lived. Cedar Bluff, Virginia. Was there someone out there? Reminds me of a squatter. Or that was their land. Let me just ask if this was a fight over land. Was this an argument over land? Was this? Let me just ask, what was this argument about? What was this art? No, I'm going to ask over land. I'm being told to ask over land. Was this argument over land? I feel like somebody thought he was trespassing or something. Was this an argument over land? Was this an argument over land? Yeah, I do. Look, now we've got the other. I'm angry and going to harm you and do what I can to get my way and I don't care and you're going down. And this guy's ruthless. This person is absolutely ruthless. This is the 5 of Swords. Someone in your life you never want to mess with is the 5 of Swords because this person is absolutely ruthless. They do not care about you. Beyond that, they like hurting people. Like it makes them feel powerful. That's the kind of person he ran into that day. Um, yeah, yeah, things not good that day. Things not good that day. And look at this person hanging from a tree. So this makes me think, was someone up in a tree stand? Was there an element of that because they were hunting? Who else is in those woods? There is somebody else in those woods. Who else goes in those woods? That's the situation. Let me ask if that person's still around that area. The person who murdered Eric, is that person still around that area? It looks like a really bad person. Is the person who murdered Eric still in the area? Like, I think this guy's kind of nuts. It's a man, yes, and he is. I do feel like he is. Look at his house on that mountain. I feel like he lives on the mountain or spends an awful lot of time out there. Okay. So, wow, this reading really took a spin from what I was thinking originally. Let's ask, let me ask again if this was someone Eric knew. Was this someone Eric knew? The person who murdered him, is this someone he knew? Looks like maybe somebody he had a falling out with. You know, over here we've got people that got along and were friends, and over here we've got people that are going through a rough time. Again, I have this person, these people are literally living outside. So he may have greeted this person friendly in the past or something. I feel like this person may have been like either a homeless person or someone who lived around there who was going through a really rough time. There's maybe not maybe mentally ill. Maybe mentally ill. I'm getting things along those lines. I'm just going to ask, tell me about this person. Tell me about the person who murdered Eric. Tell me about the person who murdered Eric. Is there some kind of crazy person that runs around on those mountains that's we all know he's not in his right mind? Tell me about the person who murdered Eric. Tell me about the person who murdered Eric. Huh. Okay, so I've got the Two of Wands and I've got the Six of Wands. Two of Wands is a planning card, and the Six of Wands is victorious. We did see that whole ruthless kind of personality. This looks like even they maybe have had a plan. When we asked about someone he knew. You know, this guy, I see these people being envious of this person. There's a guy down here that you can barely see him. He's wearing this red as well. And he's holding the wand like they're all celebrating. But if you look at the way he's looking at him, there's a little bit of envy in there. I do think they knew each other. I do think this person didn't like him, maybe envied him. And I hate to say it, but even maybe had a plan to do some of this stuff. Which is really terrible. All right, let's ask how Eric can be found because cards are falling all over here. How he can be found. So let's just ask how Eric can be found. He's hidden. He's under stuff. He went somewhere he wasn't supposed to. How can Eric be found? Or was taken somewhere he was not supposed to. Well, that's the Three of Swords, meaning, you know, it's possible he's not found, unfortunately. Let me ask, is he still on that original mountain? It's felt like he went to a smaller place. Yeah, he did. Is he still in, let's ask, is he still in Cedar Bluff, Virginia? Is Eric still in Cedar Bluff, Virginia? This, is Eric still in Cedar Bluff, Virginia? He's hidden, possibly in water. Is there water there? Let me ask for clarification on that. Is there water on that mountain? Is there water on that mountain? Well, he may not be hidden in water, but he's hidden. He's hidden well. See this guy? He's got something hidden under that blue thing, and he's sitting there like, haha, nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows. Nobody can see it. Nobody knows where it is. I don't know what to ask. Let me ask, is he in the, can he be found? Let me ask, is can he be found? Can he be found? Is he still, I hate to say it, but like in one piece? on someone else's property. This guy's about to walk off the mountain. So again, we had that whole element of, well, this guy's acting innocent, isn't he? That's what it is. Property owner's completely acting innocent. Yes, and it feels like he may go innocent. I don't know that anybody's going to be brought to justice on this one. It's not looking like it to me. Will anybody be brought to justice will the person who did this, will they find out who it was? It's not looking like it. Will they find out who this was? Will he be brought to justice? Well, the Knight of Wands, I've got the Knight of Wands and the Star here. So the Knight of Wands tells me he possibly traveled away now. Felt like he was still around, but he is kind of on the move. In the Star, I feel like he or she, let's just say there could be a she here. I kind of don't feel like it, but I don't know that this person is going to get caught. I'm not especially feeling it. Not especially feeling it. With those cards, I'm not especially feeling it. Let me just ask for any advice on locating Eric. Any advice on locating Eric? I don't know that he's going to be found. This reading went really weird. Any advice on locating Eric? There was a confrontation on that mountain. Queen of Wands. She looks further. That's what I see. This is, I feel like, much further than where they thought he was. And I see him wandering much further than they thought he was. You really got to take an active approach and keep looking. I think people stopped looking when they stopped on that mountain. And you got to look further. I don't know. I'm not seeing that Eric he might not ever be found. And the person that did it might not be brought to justice. Let me see if the case will ever be solved. I'm not feeling great about this one. Will this case ever be solved? Will this case ever be solved? However, it could be 20 years from now. I don't think it's going to be. Once the Two of Swords, it's kind of like there's not enough information to make a decision. And that's what I have. I just don't think this is going to be solved. Sorry. I wish I could say it would be, but this case is a hot mess. It's a real hot mess. There's just not enough information for them to solve this case or to prosecute anyone. Yeah, the person that did this may have some real mental health issues, addiction issues, problems like that. All of those problems I was seeing may not be Eric. They may be this other person that entered the reading. Because at first I thought this was Eric alone. But now as I read more, I know someone else came into play here. And it looks like Eric was trying to defend himself and protect himself from what I see as somebody who wanted to fight and may have had these addiction issues too. It looks like a very crazy situation. Eric's body's hidden too on top of that. If his body can even be recovered at this point, it's definitely hidden. So, and it doesn't look like they're really going to find it from what I can see. All right, that's my reading on Eric Grady Smith. Not the best, very different than what I thought it would be. Take care, everyone. Bye.